Good evening, and welcome to BHN Now. I'm your host, Koter. And tonight, we're diving into a developing story that has sparked protests and strikes in Kenya. Workers at Kenya's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport are up in arms over a proposed takeover bid by India's Adani Group. But what does this mean for Kenya? And what are the broader implications of leasing a critical national asset to a foreign company? Let's break it down. The controversy began when the Kenyan government announced plans to lease the management of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to India's Adani Group. The deal, part of a broader privatization push, has been met with fierce resistance from airport workers, who feared job losses and a loss of control over a key national asset. The workers' union has called for a strike, warning that the deal could compromise national sovereignty and security. But this isn't just about jobs. Leasing a major airport to a foreign company raises serious questions about control, transparency, and the long-term impact on Kenya's economy. Let's take a closer look at the cons of leasing an airport to a foreign entity. First, loss of sovereignty. Airports are a critical infrastructure, and handing over control to a foreign entity can undermine a nation's ability to make independent decisions about its aviation sector. Not being able to control who or what is coming into your country, of course, is a major problem, especially given the continent of Africa's horrible history with regards to foreigners' evil intentions of the past and even in the present. Second, job insecurity. Workers fear that foreign management could lead to layoffs or reduced benefits, as companies often prioritize profits over local employment. Third, revenue leakage. Profits generated by the airport could flow out of the country rather than being reinvested in local infrastructure or development. And finally, security risks. Airports are high security zones, and foreign control could raise concerns about data privacy, surveillance, and national security. This isn't the first time a country has leased its airport to a foreign entity, and the results haven't always been positive. Take the case of Nicaragua's Augusto C. Sandio International Airport, which was managed by a Mexican company from 1998 to 2002. The deal ended in controversy, with allegations of mismanagement, corruption, and a lack of investment in infrastructure. Nicaragua eventually terminated the contract and brought the airport back under state control. Another example is Greece's privatization of its airports during its debt crisis. While the deal brought in much-needed revenue, critics argue that it compromised Greece's long-term control over its aviation sector and led to higher costs for travelers. So, what does this deal mean for Kenya and India? For Kenya, the stakes are high. While the deal could bring in short-term revenue, it risks eroding national control over a critical asset. For India, this is part of the Adani Group's global expansion strategy, but it also raises questions about corporate responsibility and the ethical implications of operating in developing countries. Founded in 1988 by Gautam Adani, the Adani Group started as a commodity trading company and has since grown into a multinational conglomerate. Headquartered in Ahmedabad, India, the group operates in sectors like ports, logistics, energy, mining, and infrastructure. It also has very close ties to the Indian government. The Adani Group has faced several controversies that raise red flags about its operations and ethics. Environmental concerns. The group has been criticized for its coal mining projects in Australia. For example, the Carmichael coal mine, which environmentalists say will exacerbate climate change and damage ecosystems. Allegations of corruption. The Adani Group has faced allegations of tax evasion, money laundering, and crony capitalism in India. Critics accuse the group of benefiting from close ties to the Indian government, debt, and financial practices. The group has been scrutinized for its high debt levels and opaque financial practices. In 2023, A report by Hindenburg Research accused the Adani Group of stock manipulation and accounting fraud, leading to a significant drop in its stock value. Labor and human rights issues. The group has faced criticism for poor labor practices, including low wages and unsafe working conditions at its projects. Adani's plan is an all-too-common theme here on the continent. Extract the minerals and resources without regard for human life and the ecosystem. Interestingly, India has been cautious about allowing foreign companies to operate its airports, while private Indian companies like GMR and Adani have taken over India's airport management. India prioritizes domestic control over its aviation infrastructure, and so should all of Africa. Because Africa is for Africans, not foreign countries, not foreign companies. Especially since all of Africa is in critical developmental stages. I'm Koter, for BHN Now. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.